Hi and welcome to Mama Time Yoga. My name is Charlotte and today we're going to be going through a quick prenatal yoga flow that you can do in all 3 trimesters. So the only props I have today are 2 blocks and a bolster, which are completely optional. They can just help you get more comfortable in some poses. You can use anything you've got at home if you don't have those things, so pillows, blankets. I also recommend having a chair nearby if you are in your 3rd trimester or you're struggling with your balance at all, just to have a little bit as a safety precaution and some extra support. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start seated on a comfortable position on our mat. I'll see you there. So just sitting down, however it feels most comfortable for you. That might be cross-legged, that might be kneeling. You might be more comfortable sitting up onto a block or a bolster or a pillow, just to keep those hips elevated so you've got a bit more room to breathe into around the belly. Once you're ready, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening through the spine, the crown of the head, stacking shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders. Let the shoulders release down the back. You're welcome to close your eyes here. Just find a soft gaze in front of you. And just starting to come into your breath. So noticing how you're naturally breathing. Starting to slow down that breath and take it a little bit deeper around the belly, filling up the lungs as you inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose, let it all go. Continuing with those smooth, deep breaths. If you're further along in your pregnancy, you might be finding it difficult to take a full inhale. If that's the case, just take your hands to the side of the ribs above the hips and a little bit towards the back, and breathe into that space in the back side of the ribs, feeling them expand where you've got a bit more room. So inhale, press into the hands, feeling the lungs expand into the back of the side and the ribs. Exhale, releasing all the air, feeling the ribs come back in. Let's take 2 more breaths wherever you are, just like that. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the nose. 1 more, going at your own pace. Big inhale. And big exhale. When you're ready, we're just going to start to find some gentle movement with the body. So either keeping the eyes closed down or opening them up. We're going to take a big inhale, reaching through the arms, maybe looking up at those fingertips. Exhale, hands come to heart center. 1 more like that. Big inhale, reaching up through the arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. From here, we're going to keep the hands down and we're going to extend the left leg out to the side, keeping the right leg in. We're going to find a side body stretch. Being careful not to overstretch here through the inside of that leg. Always keeping those stretches at 60 to 80% in our pregnancy, not going too far. So taking the left hand onto the leg, we're going to reach those right fingertips up and over. Big side body stretch, keeping both hips down. The shoulders are stacked and open, away from the ears. 1 breath here. Gently coming back up. And we'll move to the other side. Right leg comes in, or right leg goes out, left leg comes in. Taking the right hand to the leg this time, reaching those left fingertips up and over. Big side body stretch, breathing into that space. And then slowly coming back up. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come into our all fours position. So just slowly making your way into all fours. Taking the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, spreading the fingers nice and wide. So you're pressing into the fingers, not the wrists, and pressing out away from the floor, drawing the belly in towards the spine. From here, we're just going to walk the hands just a hand's distance forward, and we're going to take some big hip circles here. Just rotating the hips one direction. Going as far back to the side as you need, and then going the opposite direction. Just releasing any tension here, coming back to center. From here, we're going to start to build through our core a little bit. So the option here, we're going to be going into a bird dog. So we're going to be extending opposite arm and leg. Option to just do the arms or just do the legs if you need to modify it all. When you're ready, we're going to start by taking those hands under the shoulders again, really pressing out from those hands, making sure you've got a nice firm foundation here, drawing the core in, and then we're going to kick the right leg back. You can always keep those right toes on the ground too if you need, making sure both hips are squared towards the ground, nice and stable, and then option to extend the left arm as well. Let's take an inhale to reach with the fingers and the toes here. Exhale, release down. And we'll just take that to the opposite side. So inhale, kicking that left heel back, optional right arm, extend. Exhale, releasing down. Let's do a few more going side to side. So inhale, right leg, left arm, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, release. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, release. One more each side. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Beautiful. From here, we're going to tuck the toes and come to sit on the tops of those feet, or not on the top of the feet, sitting with the toes tucked on the heels, stretching through the bottoms of the feet. And we're just going to roll the wrists out from here. Just giving those wrists a little bit of a break, giving them a nice little stretch and release, maybe stretching through the fingers as well. Beautiful. And when you're ready, we're going to start to open through the front of the body here. So opening up, taking the arms up, bending the elbows out towards the side. Inhale, drawing the elbows back as you start to look up, opening up through the chest and shoulders. Exhale, tucking the chin, rounding through the back as you bring the elbows together in front. Moving with your breath. Inhale, opening everything up, elbows draw back. Exhale, elbows draw back in, rounding through the body as you tuck the chin forward. One more like that. Inhale to open through the front. Exhale to round through the back body. Beautiful. Let's release onto all fours again, maybe tapping through the tops of those feet, just finding a release through the feet. That can be quite intense if you're not used to it. And from here, we're just going to walk the hands forward in front of the shoulders again, getting ready to go into a downward facing dog. You can always do child's pose instead if you prefer, just taking the hips back towards the heels and the knees nice and wide. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back, coming into our downward facing dog. You can take the feet as wide as you need, bending through the knees, even if it's just slightly or as much as you need, and really lifting those hips up and back, pressing the chest towards the legs, lengthening through the arms, releasing through the head, neck, and shoulders, letting the heels drop towards the floor, but not worrying if they get there or not. And let's just bend through one leg and then the other, stretching out through the calves, the back of those legs, finding your breath here. And this is a great place to make sure that you've got some of those props up at the top of your mat if you need anything under the hands, because we're going to be walking the feet up towards the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. So looking forward to the top of the mat, moving anything you need to have under the hands for that forward fold, keeping the feet as wide as you need, the knees as bent as you need, and we're just going to walk the feet, walking all the way up behind those hands. And again, using anything you need here. So you can take the hands to a block to raise the floor up to you a little bit. You can even rest the forearms on a chair or place the hands above the knees if it's really not comfortable for you to forward fold. Finding where you'd like to be here. Relaxing forward, so you're releasing through the head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe shaking the head no, or yes to find a little bit more of a release. And when you're ready, let's press through the feet and roll the spine all the way up to stand. Coming to stand tall at the top of the mat. Beautiful. You can take the feet in a little bit or keep them wide. We're gonna take a half sun salutation here to continue to warm up through the body. So keeping the feet nice and wide, maybe as wide as the hips or the shoulders. Let's take an inhale, reach up through the arms, looking up. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from those hips, releasing over the legs, taking the hands either halfway above the knees or down onto blocks or all the way to the floor, modifying for what your body needs today. And then we'll take an inhale and we'll all come to that halfway lift, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold, release. Plant through the feet, we'll slowly rise all the way up to stand, reaching those arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. From here, we're going to walk the feet in a little bit. Again, taking them either shoulder width or hip width, depending on what support you need for your foundation. And we're going to move through a little bit of a chair squat series. So on the inhale, we're going to drop the hips all the way back and reach the arms up overhead. So just checking in with your chair squat here. You want to make sure that your hips aren't flaring back. The tailbone is nice and tucked, so the belly is drawn in. When you look down, you should be able to see those feet really taking the hips back, reaching up through the arms. And as you exhale, we'll come up to stand, hands to heart center. We're going to move through a couple of those. So inhale, hips drop back, arms raise, nice tall spine. Exhale, hands to heart center as you stand back up. Let's do 3 more like that. Inhale, hips go back, arms go up. Exhale, stand. Inhale into the chair squat. Exhale to stand. See if you can take the hips a little lower. And you can always use a chair here as well to hold on to instead if you need that support. Last one. Inhale here. Arms reach up. Exhale, stay where you are. You can keep the hands up or bring them to heart center. We're going to stay here for 3 deep breaths. So really using those legs, using the breath as a tool through this little bit more challenging heat building position. Breathing into it. Exhale, see if you can soften. 1 more breath here. And then pressing the feet all the way to stand. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and shake those legs out. And we're just going to move into a little bit more of a standing series from here. So when you're ready, you can take those hands to the hips. Again, you can have a chair in front of you, having the back of it towards you to hold on to if you need that extra balance and support. From here, we're going to plant into the right foot. You can keep the left toes on the ground and just lift the left heel up, or you can draw the right knee up to hip height. And when you're ready, we're either going to slide the toes back or kick the left foot back all the way long, coming into a high lunge on the mat. So both toes are facing forward, the back heel is lifted. You're really bending into that left knee. We're going to inhale to reach the arms up or keeping them on the chair if you need. Exhale here. Again, checking in with the pelvis, making sure it's nice and neutral. We're not letting the hips flare out. Drawing the belly in. And then we're going to rotate and open into our warrior 2. So the left heel drops down. So the outside of that left foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat. The right toes are still facing the front of the mat. Shoulders are stacked over hips, and we're opening up to the side now. On the inhale, we're going to release the left hand down, reach those right fingertips up and back, reverse warrior. As you exhale, we're going to come forward into side angle. So right forearm comes to the leg, left arm reaches up and over. Big side body stretch here. Inhale, coming all the way back up to that warrior 2, looking over those right fingertips. Exhale, straighten that right leg, hands to hips, and we'll step all the way to the top of the mat. Beautiful, and we're just going to get ready to do that on the opposite side. So if you have a chair, you can stay where you are. I'm just moving to the opposite side so you can see me. Placing the hands on the chair if you need, or bringing the hands to the hips. This time planting through the left foot. Either drawing the right heel up, leaving the toes on the ground, or bringing that knee up, finding a little bit of a balance here. And then sliding the toes back or kicking the heel back. And then once it's back as far as you can go, releasing it down to the mat, coming into that high lunge, bending into that left knee, belly draws in, finding that nice neutral pelvis, drop the shoulders down, hands to your chair or reaching them up overhead. Inhale here. Exhale, settle in. When you're ready, let's open into that warrior two position on this side, bending into the left knee. So you got the left toes still facing to the top of the mat, the right toes facing to the side of the mat, so the edge of the foot's parallel with the back edge of the mat, shoulders stacked over hips, the body's opening to the side. Right hand comes down onto the leg, no weight, just placing it there. Inhale, left fingertips come up and back, side body stretch. As you exhale, coming into extended side angle, so forearm comes to leg, reaching those right fingertips up and forward. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale here, looking over those left fingertips. And when you're ready, straighten that left leg, hands to hips, stepping all the way up to the top of the mat. Beautiful, finding a little bit of a shake through those legs. Coming back to the top of the mat, we're gonna find that half sun salutation just to bring us down again. So planting the feet wherever you need for support. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, release, folding over those legs or hands to the legs or on blocks or on the mat. Releasing here. Inhale, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. From here, keeping your hands on whatever support you need, we're just gonna heel toe the feet out a little bit wider. So the toes are out, the heels are in really wide, about as wide as your mat, and we're gonna drop down into our yogi squat. This is a beautiful pose for pregnancy, opening up through the hips and the pelvis. The only time you would avoid this one is if you are 34 weeks and your baby is breech. If that's the case, go ahead and just sit in a butterfly position on your mat. If this is safe for you to do, see where you'd like to be here. You can keep the hands on the floor or on any blocks in front of you or pillows. Finding length through the spine wherever you are. Option to bring the hands to heart center, really pushing the knees out with the elbows. Again, lengthening through the spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Drop those shoulders down the spine. One breath here. Beautiful. And then we're going to release the hands down. One hand in front, one hand behind. Beautiful. We're all going to come to that butterfly position just for a moment. And we're actually going to take the feet a little bit further out in front of us. So we're making more of a diamond shape with the legs. You can stay right here if you feel a stretch there with the spine nice and tall, or you can inhale here and exhale, release forward, hinging from those hips, just reaching the arms forward, finding a breath here. Option to stay here or just walk the hands over to one side, keeping the lower body where it is. We're just walking through those hands. So you're feeling a little bit more of a stretch onto one side. Through the low back, through the side body, feeling that stretch, breathing into it. And then over to the opposite side. Coming back to center. And when you're ready, rolling up through that spine, coming up to sit tall. From here, We're gonna get ready to go into our final relaxation. So you know your body best and what's most comfortable for you at this point. This is one of the reasons I like to have lots of props. So option one would be just sitting up nice and tall. You can have the back resting on a wall, if that feels good for you, if you just wanna find a nice comfortable seated position. Option two would be if you're still in your first or second trimester, you may be really comfortable on your back still, and that is perfectly fine. You can be on your mat. I'll show you a couple different options to do that. So if you are coming onto your back on the mat, go ahead and roll to the side first. So we're keeping that core nice and safe, and then rolling onto your back from there. Option two, take a bolster or a rolled up towel or blanket under the knee. So you're just taking a little bit of pressure off the low back. And finding that nice Savasana, full body relaxation here. If that's not comfortable for you and you still want to lay down, you can again take any pillows, blankets, anything you've got, and just find a nice comfortable side lying position. So you can take the bottom leg straight and bend that right leg or that top leg over the bolster, finding what's comfortable for you here, and then just letting yourself fully relax once you find where you'd like to be. We're just going to take a few minutes in relaxation to close out our practice here. Whichever position you're in, just letting every muscle fully release. Letting go of any effort, feeling supported from the surface beneath you. If you'd like, you can take the hands to the belly, feeling your breath moving in and out around your baby. Softening through the facial muscles. Releasing the space between the eyes, relaxing the jaw. Any thoughts that might be creeping up, just letting them drift away without judgment. This is your time. Finding a moment here for a bit of gratitude for yourself, for showing up for you and your practice today, for your body, for everything it's been able to do in this practice and all it's doing growing your baby, and for your baby, for being with you. One more breath right where you are, sealing that in. And when you're ready, just gently waking the body back up, wiggling through the fingers and the toes, rolling out through the wrists and the ankles. Finding a big full body stretch here, reaching through the arms and the legs. When you're ready, you can roll onto one side if you're on your back, taking a breath here. And then sitting up nice and tall. We'll close out our practice with one more breath together. Big inhale, reaching up. Big exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. You can tell it's evening where I am as it's getting dark. So if it's the same for you, I hope you are ready for a beautiful night's sleep. Or if not, I hope you're ready for a beautiful rest of your day. And I will see you to practice together again soon. Thank you.